I too want to recognize and say to Senator Portman, who's been a leading voice in the Senate in the fight against human trafficking, what a great job he has done getting us to this point. This was a long, multi-month, as he said, 2-year effort, and Senator Portman has been absolutely relentless in pushing and driving this process forward, and I commend him for his important work, which will culminate today, I certainly hope, with a big bipartisan vote in support of the legislation in front of us. I also want to commend the bipartisan group of senators that worked hard to draft the Stop Enabling Sex Traffickers Act, which includes Senator Blumenthal, I think you'll hear from in just a moment, Senators McCaskill, Cornyn, Heitkamp, and as Senator Portman so very appropriately pointed out, Senator McCain, who has been a passionate advocate for addressing this issue for so many years, and wish that he could be here to participate and to be able to vote for its passage. But we know that his work over the years has played an incredibly important role in getting us to where we are today. This group also helped lead the effort to conduct important investigatory oversight that has helped us to get to the point where we are today. Last year, as the Senator Portman pointed out, I chaired a Commerce Committee hearing on his bill where we heard testimony from experts on both sides of the issue. We listened carefully to what our witnesses had to say, and after the hearing, we worked together to make some targeted changes to the legislation, and the bill that ultimately advanced from our committee enjoyed, as Senator Portman pointed out, solid support from the Internet industry. It passed the Senate Commerce Committee unanimously. The bill is strongly supported by members of both parties. We racked up lots of bipartisan support. 68 out of 100 senators are now co-sponsors of this bill. The bill is supported by the White House, and so we know that as soon as it leaves the Senate, it will land on the President's desk where it will be signed into law. It's supported by law enforcement organizations, organizations that fight sex trafficking, and by faith-based organizations. At our Commerce Committee hearing, Mr. President, we also heard some powerful, powerful testimony from Yvonne Ambrose, whose daughter Desiree Robinson was sexually trafficked repeatedly before being murdered. Desiree was just 16 years old, a bright and loving girl who dreamed of becoming a doctor in the Air Force. Instead, she was raped and murdered by a man twice her age who had sought her for sex after seeing her advertised on an internet site. Ms. Ambrose's powerful testimony helped the members of our committee understand the terrible pain that victims of sex trafficking and their families are exposed to. And I'm very thankful to her for sharing Desiree's story. This bill has already cleared the House of Representatives, Mr. President, by an overwhelming margin, and I encourage my colleagues here in the Senate to reject any attempts to slow this bill down with amendments. This has been very carefully and thoroughly vetted through the many processes that Senator Portman described. We need to get this bill over the finish line on the President's desk and signed into law, because there are thousands of children out there who are waiting for our help. So again, I commend Senator Portman and his colleagues here in the Senate who have worked tirelessly on this, and I hope we have a big outcome today and that we do something really meaningful to address a scourge that this country needs to get rid of. Mr. President, I would yield back the senator from Ohio, and I know there are others here who have joined us who I think intend to participate in our discussion.